Welcome back to Black Renaissance. Our next guest teaches creative writing at UC Berkeley's African American Studies Department. She is an acclaimed writer. Please welcome Miss Aya De Leon. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
So happy to have you, and I already told you I was excited to read your book. I started reading it. It was exciting right off the bat. It is called Uptown Thief. Okay, and if you're not pulled in by the title of it, you're going to be pulled in by the cover, okay, because it is, and the plot itself, it is a story of a modern-day Robin Hood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an escort.
Yes. So Marisol Rivera is a Puerto Rican woman on the Lower East Side of Manhattan who runs a health clinic for women. And when the economy tanks, she kind of returns to a life of crime to keep her clinic open. First, she starts a high-class escort service, and then when that's not enough, she begins robbing a group of corrupt corporate CEOs who are involved in a sex trafficking scandal. So then they get a chance to heist a billionaire. So the central heist of the book, it's a heist novel, is this heisting of the billionaire.
Very exciting. I mean, my first question when I read your background and I started reading the book, it is like this steamy beach novel. I mean, it's definitely a page turner that you'd be reading on the beach, you know. What inspired you to write this sort of novel?
Well, so many things. First of all, I love the heist genre and found myself getting mad at the time with Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. It's a very male genre. Apparently they're doing a women's reboot, which is great, but at the time heist was very male, and I liked the idea of women, particularly in the difficult economy where we have so much wealth getting concentrated at the top 1%, the idea of some women taking direct action to fund their clinic. And having worked in nonprofits, we've all sat around and said, God, what if we just robbed a bank? So I'm not going to do that in real life, but being a fiction writer gives me an opportunity to fantasize about these things.
Absolutely. You get to write about it. And this is almost, it's one of those, like, it's like a mixture of a protagonist and an antagonist, but it makes it fun to cheer for this character, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that that was really fun about the book is that it's such a mix. You know, it's got these sort of intense progressive politics of feminist healthcare and wealth redistribution, but it's got this romance, it's got this sort of steamy erotica content. It's really action-packed, but it also, you know, packs a wallop with a message. So
and we
really
definitely
like that
we
mix.
don't see these sort of complicated female anti-heroes very often.
Yes, I really wanted to create a woman who was in a tough situation and had to make really difficult choices, sometimes choices that we would never want to make, but that we can figure out how to root for her in spite of her many flaws.
And is fiction really a vehicle that you can use to address some of these issues? I
think so. And I think more than just addressing them, I was really interested in exploring them in a context where they're often, I don't want to say not explored, but less likely to be explored. For example, in hard-hitting literature with a capital L, we deal with these big, heavy issues. And then there's this sort of neglected area of literature that's like romance and popular fiction that, you know, a lot of young women are reading. That's sexy and fun. And a lot of times that kind of literature is expected to be apolitical or considered to be apolitical. And I was really interested in injecting some serious themes of social justice into literature that was going to be fun and sexy and was going to get the attention of a wide range of readers.
We were just talking about with the artist Amber Doe the importance of diversity within art, and that certainly speaks directly to that.
Yes, and I think right now there's really kind of a binary system within the literary establishment. There are like big important books, and then there are the books that are being read by all kinds of folks, particularly, say, young women. And I think that we're in an era where the potential political power of women in general and young women in particular is really growing in a powerful way, and I wanted to find a part of the culture that maybe wasn't necessarily having that conversation in a really explicit way, and sort of sneak some of those conversations and messages in there.
Well, I think you've done a successful job. I mean, I know when I pick up a book and it's a page turner, I'm already in. So I've got my copy. I'm fully ready to read this book. Thank you so much for joining us, Aya. For more information about Uptown Thief, you can log on to ayadeleon.com. That's AYADELEON.com. That's it for this episode of Black Renaissance. We will be back next month with much more. That's it for us. Did we cover everything?
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like we got it.
Wonderful.